It's a good expression. Thank you, Jane, for bringing that up.
Thank you for writing it down.
You may as well take it. It doesn't cost extra. Okay, now here's the, let's go from midnight, just very quickly, eh? I'll just give you a few of them. Achtat ba, midnight. Achtat ba. So let's say 12. 12, midnight. Achtat ba. The ach part gives you half. That's the word for half. Okay, that's, you'll hear it everywhere, half of this. Ahadayik. Sometimes you get a macaroni dish. Ahadayik, bid'ah, half a pie, but you'll always get that. So, after midnight, we just put the word gisi with a hyphen, ahdat ba. After midnight. And then you could say what they use for sometimes, I guess you could say from 2 o'clock on, maybe 2 a.m. in the morning. They'll say, sa debkik. We had that word debkik. Sa debkik. It means, sa means long into the night. I'm just giving you a few of them. There's other in-between stuff there that might not be a lot. So sa tepkik then is, let's say, after 2 a.m. Around that time. Don't hold me to it, something like that. And then there's wechkwabaniya, which is what that's that. I'll explain that in a minute, but remind me. That is what we are called by other tribes across the nation, other native tribes, and I'll give it to you in a minute. But for now, wechkwabaniya is wechkwabaniya. That means it's beginning to get light out. Okay, wechkwabaniya. Yeah, and it doesn't. The sun hasn't completely risen at this point. Yeah.
Is there a stronger marker up there? It's getting difficult.
Oh, is it getting a little bit? Okay, I'll get. Where was that black one that I had? Oh, here it is. Okay. Which company? Am I okay to continue, or do you want me to rewrite it?
I can't tell what that one says.
Okay. WEJKWAPNIAQ.
Is that like dawn?
Which Wabaniya is, yeah, it's like dawn.
In a way, like the first light after dark? Like
Yes, exactly. The sun that wouldn't have even have to have risen by this point. You know how something gets light before you see the sun?
Like Wasadeg.
Wasadeg, yeah.
That means the same?
Wasadeg means light, more like light. It's kind of brighter or bright. Yeah.
Like bright light.
No, that's Gesadeg. Wasadeg means there's a light glow, more like a glow than a bright light. Yeah. Like if these were dimmed for the night, these bulbs here, that would be Wasadeg. Wasadeg. You turn them on bright and that's Gesadeg. Okay? So what's Gwabaniya? And then after the sun has risen, it would be Gis, and then Gis, sorry, I didn't write the whole, Gisabaniya. Gisabaniya.
After sunrise?
Yes. Yeah. As soon as the sun comes out of the horizon completely, that's Gisabaniya. Very early in the morning. Depending, Gisabaniya could be summer or winter. That's the beauty of the Mikmaw language. If you say 5 o'clock in the morning in English, that's a problem. That's a problem because 5 o'clock in the morning in the summer may be bright. in the winter it may be still dark. So it doesn't really tell you much. The only thing you have to rely on is your watch. But if you say, Gisapania, you know, it can only mean one thing, and that's the sun has risen. So obviously there's light. You know what I mean? Well, that's good. So Gisapania. And then there's Gesieksipu, that means after the sun has risen and still very early in the morning. Gesi. Oops. Eksipu. Ek. Sit. Boog. That's how Archie Bunker used to spell.
What would you say that was again?
Gesieksipu is very early in the morning, but after the sun had risen.
Which Babania? Would that also mean like pre-dawn?
Which Wapania? That's right. That's right. I didn't give that because there's a reason.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Remind me of that again. Okay. Next one is, that was Gesieksipu. Now it's just simply Eksipu. Sorry. Sorry, Mr. T. Eksipu. That's the first mistake I made since 1959.
Pretty good
Okay,
track.
so that's Eksipu.
It looks well.
I didn't say you could use them on me.
Yeah. Take his apple away.
Don't fire back that ammunition on me. Yeah, so that's it. And then,
So that's morning, right?
huh?
That's just morning?
That's just morning. And then, sa Eksipu, you could use sa Eksipu. Eksipu. That's not very commonly used in sa Eksipu, really. But I'll throw it in there because it's possible, theoretically possible. In other words, late morning. And then, Mikmaw Language.
Noon?
Mikmaw Language. Mikmaw Language is
Okay.
almost Mikmaw Language. We're almost about to have lunch.
Ah.
In other words, noon.
Almost noon?
Huh?
Say almost noon or noon.
It is noon. Noon, Mikmaw Language. Miao means middle. Miao. That's why, you know, Miao Pugek is the word for Con River. Miao Pugek. You have Milltown, you have Con River. In the middle, you have Miao. Middle, Pugek. Middle flow. That's talking about the water in the middle. That's a bay, right? Kind of separates Middletown. That's Mikmaw Pugek, but they call that area Mikmaw Pugek. Okay, so that's Mikmaw Language. And let's say Kisi, K-I-S-I hyphen Mikmaw Language.
Afternoon.
Afternoon. That's right. Good. Pretty obvious, eh? Yeah. Okay, you got that part. And then Wilagwell. That is early evening.
So could you say, put really in front of that, say good evening, would that make sense?
No, Weli Wulag.
Okay.
Weli Wulag. Yeah. So this is, so Welagwel means early evening, Welagwel, and then Welag is evening. Not early evening, just evening, okay? So, Welag, here you go, Ladina. Welag, there you go. Now, then you can put Weli,
Okay.
but you have to get rid of that E, Weli Wulag.
And, you know, I just want to mention in the context of really translating Mikmaw into English,
Yeah.
we can't really translate it as per the exact translation.
No.
And there have been people out there that argue, why are you saying really it's a book? Because it doesn't really say good morning. And I think, get a life, will you? Come on, you got it.
Yeah. See, Waliaksipu does mean good morning, but unlike English, when you say good morning in English to a person, right, it means that you're bidding them a good morning and has nothing to do with the weather. Waliaksipu does have something to do with the weather. That's the difference. In other words, we don't use that. I mean, we use it, you know, but it's not natural for us to say Waliaksipu unless it is a good morning. You know, that's the difference.
But it's a mindset. Every morning can be a good morning, right?
It's all good morning, Waliaksipu, right? If it's a good morning out.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's not a good morning out, you no longer can say that. If it's rainy and drizzly, but you can in English. Because you're not talking about weather in English, you're bidding someone, have a good morning.
But I guess I get into the feeling, it doesn't matter if it's snowing or raining or whatever it's doing.
Oh.
To me, it's still a good morning.
Oh yeah, no, not in Mikmaw. Waliaksipu talks about weather. Yeah.
If I wanted to use a word that would describe how I live, that every morning is a good morning, how would I say that?
Well, first of all, if you wanted to bid someone like a good morning, you say, Medalwali, how you doing?
Okay.
That's really what they use.
Yeah, okay.
That's what they use. They don't really say, Waliaksipu if it's miserable.
Very practical.
They kind of look at you and say, yeah, yeah.
I had to remember that this morning.
Huh?
I had to remember that this morning.
Yeah, that's right. He said, Waliaksipu. No, they don't use that either, really, but in a way, it's, you were correct. All right.
I guess just to finish this, I don't want to leave it until
Okay.
because I get this.
You get flack.
Yeah, I get flack when I say, well,
Yeah.
use that to say good morning.
No, you cannot.
So what am I going to use?
They'll say, Waliaksipu. No, they'll say, Medalwali, how you doing? That's the greeting, or Gwe, Medalwali.
So it's just the way you're thinking in Mikmaw, not...
In Mikmaw, that's right. In Mikmaw, they will not say good morning, unless it is a good morning, but they're talking about the weather. English, they're not. English, you're bidding someone a good morning. Okay. I just want to give you this last thing before Curtis has been generous enough to lend me a good deal of his time. And of course, as the old lady calls it in Mikmaw, in the memory group, she doesn't speak English. Curtis has diabetes. Oh, Teresa Google. Oh, geez. Yeah, I think the doctors finally figured out here. I'm talking to her daughter. I think the doctors figured out here what's wrong with her. She doesn't speak any English. They're talking to me. Oh, they did, Mom? What is it? He said, I think the doctors call it diabetes. Diabetes, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to give you kind of like a trick word. It's kind of nice because I used it for a very nice trick one time. And it's this. No, I can't. It's too long over here. So I'll write the rest of the word here.
You're not kidding.
There. That's why I needed more space. It's all sort of, this is an entire concept here. And it's not exactly one word, but at the same time, you need those little particles, you know, to give you. I'll wait till you write it down because it's something that is so very funny, and it's a fun word to say.
This one.
Huh?
I've never seen this one.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll tell you a little story. I'll tell you a story about this quickly. The linguist that you heard his name, my buddy and my professor, Doug Smith. Doug Smith, being a linguist.